Hey guys, Kimberly Shambly here. I did my second book review on the autobiography of Martin Luther King Jr. It was first published in Great Britain by Little Brown and Company in 1999. The paperback edition was published by Abescus in 2000. Okay, basically this book, the title basically says it, but it's an autobiography of Martin Luther King. He did like a short passage on like when he was first growing up until about 15, and then from 15 on is when it really talks about what all he did in his life. I read this entire book cover to cover, every word on every page. Um, to me, this book was very inspiring. It was very, I basically had every emotion possible while reading this book. There was parts where I cried, like looking at all the civil rights stuff that happened and how bad segregation was and how the blacks were treated. Um, there was happy giddy moments, reading the chapter about when he met his wife and how he fell in love with her. There was angry moments where I was like mad at how all of them were treated, because we should all be treated equally, which there should not be any difference between any of us. But a lot of this he goes into pretty good detail about different encounters that happened and what he went through himself personally. Um, One of my favorite things in this book that I like was, let me find a good one. Different letters he would write to people. Like he wrote one to his mother, but it's actual letters that he wrote to them that he also inserted in this book. Also, like, there are a couple of pictures that they gave us. They're real life pictures of what Martin Luther King had and what he, real life pictures of him and his family. Like that other picture was a picture of his sister. And a lot of times autobiographies, you don't always get pictures, but I like pictures to be able to look back and see. Kind of puts you in the story just about and what he went through in his life. But yeah, just a couple of those. Like, here's a good picture of him. Sometimes we don't get pictures like this. We do autobiographies or anything like that. I also like how he truly expressed his feelings and how he felt during every aspect of his life. Actually, the beginning of most of your chapters gives you little inserts about how he felt. Like, while he did not always see eye-to-eye on methods to solve the race problems, I always had a deep affection for Malcolm and felt that he had the great ability to put his finger on the existence and root of the problem. And then he'd go into, like, exactly like this one was about, obviously, Malcolm X. But then he would talk about Malcolm X and his encounters with Malcolm X. I like how in-depth he got about his passions and what his dream really was for this world. I like I like how there's a lot of stuff in the book I didn't even know. Like, I knew he was a minister, but I didn't know a lot of how he got his minister license or what school he went to or anything like that. In school, most of the time we heard about his civil rights movements and his I Have a Dream speech. To me, this book was an easy read because it's literally about his life. And just about every detail, just about of his life. And he wrote it in an easy read format. It's not hard to read. It's an easy read. It is a longer book. It's got smaller writing on it, as y'all can see. And it is a longer book. It's, close to 400 pages, I think. Yeah, it's right at 400 pages. But, I read it pretty quickly. It wasn't a hard read. I enjoyed reading it. if you really want to know about Martin Luther King, it's a good book. If you want to know about the civil rights movement, it's a good read as well. Because I mean, he talks about all. I'll tell you, he talks about all the civil rights. I mean, he talks about the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. He talked about the Montgomery movement begins, which is when, the Rosa Parks refused to give her seat up. That started the Montgomery bus boycott. So yeah, I mean, if you want to know about Martin Luther King or you want to know about the Civil Rights Movement, pick that book up. Easy read. You'll read through it pretty quickly. Kind of the lesson plan that I was going to do that I kind of pulled off of this book was go over with the kids. I was doing probably about a second grade level, but go over with the kids who Martin Luther King was and about his big I Have a Dream speech. And talk about, what his dream speech was all about and what he wanted for this world. And then give the kids their own paper that they can write their own, what their dream is for this world and what their dream for the world would be, what they could do to change this world if there's anything that they don't like. And then we would put a banner up in the class that would have Martin Luther's dream in the middle, and then they could put theirs on the edge, and they could draw a picture of what their dream was, as well as their paragraph of what their dream was. But I think it's really important for kids to have dreams for this world and have dreams of things they could do to change this world, because we can all be a huge impact on this world. I mean, we can all be a Martin Luther King Jr. and change things about this world that's not right, or that we feel passionate about. But yeah, I think that's all I have today. Thank you.